evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 343rd meeting of the City of Laurel Board of Appeals. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Whitley? Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mrs. Les?
Here.
Mrs. Collins?
Here.
Chairwoman Chenault?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. The items, is there anything that we need to discuss before we start the meeting? Can I get just right into it at this point, I think, and discuss later? Okay, all right. Approval of the minutes of the May 22nd meeting. May I have any corrections or amendments? If not, an approval?
Mrs. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as read.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mrs. Les?
Yes.
Chairwoman Chenault?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 3 on our agenda is special exception application number 873, resolution number 1704 BOA for 319 Baltimore Washington Boulevard, filed by Jason Scott, QSR and R, seeking a special exception application approval to operate a Dunkin Donuts with a drive-thru at 319 Washington Boulevard. May I have a reading of the record, please?
Good evening, Commission members.
Good evening.
Special exception application number 873 was filed on August 28, 2017 by Jason Scott, QSR and R, 584 Bellride Road, Annapolis, Maryland, 21409, to operate a Dunkin Donuts with a drive-thru to be located at 319 Washington Boulevard. Under date of September 7, 2017, the application and a cover letter asking for comments were also sent to the following agencies: Maryland State Highway Administration, Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, Prince George's County Health Department, Maryland Department of Planning, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, Verizon, Prince George's County Public Schools People, Accounting and School Boundaries, Prince George's County Public Schools Department of Capital Programs. Under date of September 7, 2017, a memorandum asking for comments was sent to the following city departments: Department of Public Works, Police Department, Department of Parks and Recreation, Office of Fire Marshal and Permit Services. The following agency responses were received September 12, 2017. The Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission stated no issues with the project. The Maryland State Highway Administration stated no requirements for the project since work will not be conducted on state highway right-of-way. On September 19, 2017, WSSE stated local services inadequate. On October 13, 2017, the Prince George's County Public Schools and Department of Capital Programs stated project will not have an impact on schools. The following responses were received from the city departments. The City of Laurel Department of Public Works submitted comments on September 14, 2017, stating, there is one driveway on Laurel Avenue, which is a city roadway. The apron on Laurel Avenue is not in good condition and needs to be replaced according to the city's and county standards. All the parking space dimensions and driveway width need to be marked clearly on the plan. It appears that 2 driveways on US 1 will be one way in and one way out. The necessary signage with details and directional arrow markings must be shown on the plan. If any utility cuts will be performed on city streets, the restoration must follow city standards that require permanent patches in the cut area with a 2-foot mill and overlay from curb to curb and a minimum of 25 feet in each direction of the cut. The scope of the restoration will be determined by this department. The City of Laurel Police Department submitted a comment on September 12, 2017 stating no issues with the project. The City of Laurel Parks and Recreation submitted a comment on September 11, 2017 stating no objections to the project. No other agency responses were received. On September 11, 2017, a letter explaining the nature of the application and advising the scheduled public hearings on the application before the Planning Commission and the Board of Appeals was sent by certified mail to all contiguous property owners. All returned receipts were received. A memorandum from the City of Laurel Planning Commission to the Board of Appeals dated October 18, 2017 reads as follows. At the regular meeting of the City of Laurel Planning Commission held on October 17, 2017, the following action was taken on the subject zoning application. On a motion by Mr. Wilson, seconded by Ms. Parker, and carried on a roll call vote by all our members present, the Planning Commission recommended that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals grant special exception application number 873 with the conditions. The file contains a certificate of the publication verifying that this application and public hearing were advertised in the October 19, 2017 issue of the Prince George's Sentinel. The file contains an affidavit signed by the applicant attesting that a zoning sign has been placed on the subject property and has remained and shall remain until a decision is reached by the Board of Appeals. That concludes my finding of the file, Madam Chairman. The applicant is seeking special exception approval to operate a Dunkin Donuts with a drive-thru at 319 Washington Boulevard. The property is zoned CG Commercial General and is surrounded by commercial properties on all sides. The most recent tenant was a Kentucky Fried Chicken, which included a drive-thru as well. However, the property has been vacant for the last year. The site will have 29 parking spaces on site along with 2 handicap spaces. If approved, the existing site would just be retrofitted and no construction would occur on site besides the installation of signage and possible minor exterior repairs. The proposed use is locating to a property that was previously used as a fast food restaurant with a drive-thru and cause minimum disruption to the neighborhood. Furthermore, since it will be limited construction to take place on site, there should not be any objectionable noise, vibration, fumes, odors, dust, glare, or physical activity that would cause concern to the community. The site is located on Washington Boulevard, which is busy. However, it is anticipated that the use will not cause a circulation problem for the general neighborhood. There's only one Dunkin Donuts located within the City of Laurel, which is 0.7 miles from this location, but that location does not have a drive-thru. The applicant looks forward to working with the City of Laurel regarding the proposed use and ensure that all rules and regulations are followed. It is recommended that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals approve special acceptance application number 873 with the conditions outlined in the technical staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
So is the existing Dunkin Donuts going to shut down and relocate, or are there going to be 2?
There's going to be 2.
2, okay.
Interesting. Each one going in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. This will be more convenient.
We do have a sign up for this special exception. Mr. Lee is here. If there are any questions, Ms. Lee, if there are any questions, would you like to come have us? Would you come to the podium, please, and give us your name and address for the record?
Good evening. I'm Lee. Presenting from US. I'm just here to see if anybody has any questions that I can answer.
Okay, thank you.
So the existing has donuts and ice cream. Is this one strictly donuts? Is it going to be the same? Donuts, ice cream?
This one would just be donut.
Donuts, okay. Okay.
It's not Baskin Robbins.
And it definitely will have the advantage of having more parking spaces than
And
the
a
existing.
drive-through.
And the drive-through.
Yeah. And luckily, the place was a drive-through before, so it doesn't, it doesn't give you much difficulty to make it happen, just some fixing up.
Fits well.
You have some tables inside?
Right now, we don't have the interior design laid out yet. Just waiting for this special exception to be approval before we move further on the design and all that stuff. Because we don't know it's okay.
When do you anticipate opening if it all goes well?
We'd like to open it this year
Okay.
before Christmas.
Well,
Very, very tight right now. We doubt that we will make it.
okay. All right. Any other questions, Ms. Lee?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Thank you so much. Do we have, this is really pretty simple.
Yes.
Cut and dry, I think, don't you?
Yes.
The city has absolutely no objections to it. They have to follow all the guidelines that are necessary.
Correct.
So may I have a motion?
Sure. I hereby move that we adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law as outlined in the technical staff report for application number 873, and move approval of resolution number 17-04-BOA as presented.
May I have a second?
Second?
A second.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mrs. Les?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Chairwoman Chenault?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. I know that, but I don't think we usually do that. All right. Item number 4, special exception application number 874, resolution number 1705 BOA 306, Montgomery Street, Bernadette's house, filed by Carol Nash, CEO, founder of Bernadette's House, seeking a special exception application to operate an after-school mentoring and enrichment program for girls and to construct a parking lot.
All right, Karen, it's okay.
May I have a reading of the record, please?
Excuse me. Good evening. Special exception application number 874 was filed on September 14, 2017 by Bernadette's House, 804 West Street, Laurel, Maryland, 20707 to operate an after-school mentor and enrichment program for preteen and teenage girls to be located at 306 Montgomery Street. Under date of September 18, 2017, the application and the cover letter asking for comments were also sent to the following agencies: Maryland State Highway Administration, Washington Suburban Sanitarian Commission, Prince George's County Health Department, Maryland Department of Planning, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, Verizon, Prince George's County Public Schools Pupil Accounting and School Boundaries, Prince George's County School Department of Capital Programs. Under date of September 26, 2017, a memorandum asking for comments was sent to the following city departments: Department of Public Works, the Police Department, Department of Parks and Recreation, Office of the Fire Marshal and Permit Services. The following agencies' responses were received. October 3, 2017, Prince George's County Health Department had no issues with the project. October 4, 2017, Prince George's County Public Schools Department of Capital Programs stated that the project will not have an impact on the schools. The following responses were received from city departments. The Laurel Department of Public Works submitted comments on October 3rd, 2017 that stated the applicant will be responsible for obtaining an approved stormwater management plan from Prince George's County directly if it is required by the county. A copy of the approved plan needs to be forwarded to this department for documentation. No improvements are proposed in the city's public right-of-way. If any roadway closure or public sidewalk closure are needed for this work, the applicant must contact this department for approval prior to the start of driveway work. The applicant is also responsible for any and all damages within the public right-of-way. The Office of the Fire Marshal and Permit Services submitted the following comments on October 3rd, 2017, stating no issues with the project. The Police Department submitted a comment on September 29th, 2017, stating no issues with the project. And the Department of Parks and Recreation also submitted a comment on September 2017, stating no objections to this request. The organization will be working with the department's Helping Hands Youth Service Bureau. No other agencies' responses were received. On September 27, 2017, a letter explaining the nature of this application and advising of the scheduled public hearings of the application before the Planning Commission and the Board of Appeals was sent by certified mail to all contiguous property owners. All return receipts were received. A memorandum from the City of Laurel Planning Commission to the Board of Appeals dated October 18, 2017 reads as follows. At the regular meeting of the City of Laurel Planning Commission held on October 17, 2017, the following action was taken on the subject zoning application. On motion by Mr. Welford, seconded by Mr. Kish, and carried on a roll call vote by all members present, the Planning Commission recommended that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals grant special exception application number 874 with conditions. The file contains a certificate of publication verifying that this application and public hearing was advertised in the October 19th, 2017 issue of the Prince George's Centennial. The file contains an affidavit signed by the applicant attesting that a zoning sign has been placed on the subject property and has remained and shall remain until a decision is reached by the Board of Appeals. That concludes the reading of the file, Madam Chairwoman. As stated earlier, Bernadette's House is seeking a special exception to operate an after-school mentoring and enrichment program for preteen and teenage girls at 306 Montgomery Street. The property is zoned R55, single-family detached. The organization has been in existence since 2012. Bernadette's House wants to locate to a property that has more room and will better serve the girls and provide a home-like atmosphere. The organization plans to work with the city's Youth Service Bureau, Laurel Helping Hands. Bernadette's House after-school program runs through the school year and provides services Monday through Friday from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. The activities are structured in a way for the girls to increase their confidence, self-esteem, as well as learning etiquette and life skills. The applicant also plans to add 5 new parking spaces to the property as a future project once the organization is established and raises the appropriate funds to construct a new parking area. It is recommended that the applicant work with city staff regarding the implementation of the parking area to use a type and paving method opposed to paving with blacktop or concrete. The applicant understands the requirements that come with special exception approval and is eager to work with city staff to ensure compliance. According to section 20-21.1 of the code, the proposed use will meet the requirements of special exception approval. It is recommended that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals approve special exception application number 874 with conditions outlined in the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions of staff?
I do. How many girls are at the school now, or after school?
Would you, would you like to come to the podium? Whoever would be here to ask questions of? Give us your name and address.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit hard of hearing.
We'll yell, that's okay.
How many girls?
Could we have your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. I'm Carol Nash, and my address is 11084 Scotts Landing Road, Laurel, Maryland, 20723.
Thank you. Now.
So how many girls do you have right now at your current location?
Currently, probably on any given day, about 10 to 12.
Is that the limit you can have there? Is that where you're looking for a larger?
We're actually looking to have more girls than 10 to 12. We can take up to about 15.
Now, how do they get to your facility and then?
We have transportation, so if parents need to, they pay a little bit extra for transportation.
So you have girls coming from the high school, middle school?
We have a relationship with Laurel High School and Pilates for their senior students to work with our girls to help with homework and with tutoring. And other than that, the girls in the lower grades actually are part of the program. So from Laurel, we transport where we are now, some of them walk.
Okay.
And the Pilates students walk also.
So the new location would be just a little bit farther, so they probably wouldn't walk.
I'm sorry.
The new location would be a little bit further away, so, okay.
I was wondering how many girls you would have as mentors for the girls, but you bring in the tutors that help you up from the high school.
Each girl in the program is blessed to have a mentor for a year. So we assign a mentor, one of our mentors is there for each girl gets a mentor for the duration of the school year. The mentors sign up for 1 year, and each girl has a mentor.
That's nice. Can I ask you where your funding comes from? I'm just curious. When you can get it.
A lot of my retirement money went into the project, but for the most part, we have relationships in the community. We have private donors, we have corporations that donate, and we actually write grants, grant money. So for about 5 years, we've been able to sustain ourselves.
Congratulations. The parking, that won't happen for a while, I gather.
Right.
Until you...
But once it does, we'll make sure that we contact the city and that we actually when we build according to code.
Okay.
And that would be behind the house?
I believe right now the plan is to have on the side, there's a bit of property on the side,
Yes.
and I think right now that's the plan, to have
Okay.
it on the side.
Now, would they have to go before the historic district?
Yes, ma'am. Before they can do the driveway, they would have to go before the historic district because the property is located in the historic district area. It's part of one of their conditions as well.
And that's the only activity that will be going on at that location in the future?
The plan, whatever brings, whatever lends itself to the edification of the girls. So on the weekends, we have opened our programs up to the community. So we have character strengthening programs for the girls. The girls may have teas where they actually participate, and they have Bible study, they have dinners, whatever lends itself to building character for girls.
Do they usually spend the night at any time?
No.
No, okay, thank you. All right.
Now, the girls, are they from the local schools?
Yes.
Okay. In Laurel?
I'm sorry.
In Laurel?
In Laurel.
School? Okay.
Yeah, mostly in Laurel. We do have a few girls from Fort Meade. And I think there was one in Howard County.
But the general Laurel regional
But
area.
generally right here in the local area.
Unless I missed it, how long have you run Bernadette's house? How long has it been? Is it
Bernadette's house
2012?
has been
12?
open for, we're in our 5th year. October makes our 5th year. But I've been working with children in various programs since about 2002. So just trying to make a difference.
And then what happens in the summer months? You're not,
In the summer, we have a summer program. It runs for a month. Last summer, the summer before last, we were blessed to have a tennis instructor. Many of our girls were able to learn to play tennis. They'd never touched a racket before. And the city opened up the tennis courts here. This past summer, our girls were blessed to have George Mason University come on board and teach them lacrosse. And so they were very excited. The lacrosse sticks were donated. Well, most of the equipment is donated. And so we run it for a month in the summer. And then I take a month off.
Good.
Does Bernadette's require any special licensing from the county or the state to operate?
Not, when I checked with the state, there was no requirement because we're a mentoring program. And I checked with the city and the county. So far, we're not doing anything that requires. In the future, if we do, then of course, we'll make that.
Necessary change, yeah. Okay. All right. Any more questions, Ms.
No,
Nash?
but I would like to make a comment. Thank you for being such a model addition to our area. I think it's greatly needed for a lot of our youth. So I think it's a great mentoring program, and I'll visit it myself to check out what's going on. I think it's wonderful. So
I invite you all come and see what else, meet our awesome board of directors and our staff. We do what we can in our community.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Nash.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I do have a question of staff, if that's okay.
Certainly.
I noticed in the report that there are 6 conditions outlined under the recommended for approval.
Yeah.
Would the wording, this is a draft, so don't record it just yet. With the wording, I hereby move that we adopt the findings of fact and conclusion of law as outlined in the technical staff report with the 6 following conditions as outlined in the report for application number 873, move for approval. Would that sentence be okay? Or just if we're adopting the full technical report, we're already adopting the 6 conditions?
That would be correct, but it's for 874, not 3.
I mean, for 874, I'm sorry. Yes.
You want to adopt the resolution, though. So it'd be the resolution number
17-05.
BOA.
Right. So with that, would I say with the 6 following conditions as outlined in the report? Or would adopting the technical report already establish that? I'm unclear the way it was written at the top as well.
If I may, when you are taking action on anything that's before you, you have a draft resolution for your consideration. The conditions to which you're referring appear on the last page of the resolution. So if your motion is to approve this resolution, it will include the conditions because they're set forth in the resolution.
Okay.
Thank you. That's fine.
That's fine? Anybody have any other questions? No? All right, then may I have a motion, please?
Yes, I hereby move that we adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law as outlined in the technical staff report for application number 874 and move approval for resolution number 17-05-VOA as presented.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Les?
Yes.
Chairwoman Chenault?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Best of luck.
Good luck.
Is there anything that we need to discuss or should know about, or anything coming up? We have a meeting supposedly in November yet?
We will have a meeting in November since
Right.
BOA usually happens on the 4th Thursday. We had to move
Changing it
it to the 5th Thursday.
Right, okay. And Christmas?
To be determined.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.